Hi there. I had a meeting with a friend of mine recently who is very successful with one part of his business, and another part of his business isn't doing quite so well. And he was telling me about all the issues with potential buyers and the budgets available for what he's doing and how people can't see the value and so on and so forth. And my tendency was to try and snap him out of this negative narrative as I saw it that he was in. And as I reflected on it, I realized that it wasn't such a good idea for me to kind of try and get him to think positively about this situation. In retrospect, I would have been a much greater service if I'd had simply listened. And I think this is a lesson that I continually learn, and perhaps we all learn over and over again. Number one is to listen. And I think especially when it's negative, especially if you've done a certain level of self-work and you've started to understand how we create our reality and how negative narratives can be self-perpetuating and how it's important for us to catch ourselves when we're entering into a negative interpretation of events. And that is true. And it's also true that to to be of service to someone, we have to first listen. We have to get it all and embrace the negativity and accept and acknowledge every thought and feeling that somebody has about a particular circumstance. We have to get that all first. And only when someone feels fully heard can we attempt to nudge someone into taking a different perspective on their scenario. And what I realized was I was trying to cut to the potential remedy far too quickly. And it's best just to love them and where they're at that moment, in potentially in all of their negativity. And I think this goes not just for specific interactions, as was the case in this situation, but for this idea of negative people or toxic people. I think there can be a time and a place for putting boundaries in our lives around, like, quote, toxic people and negative people. But in the end, we can't avoid negativity in the world. Negativity exists everywhere. And ultimately, the work is to be able to be in any circumstance and just love it all, accept it as part of life. People are going to be negative. I'm going to be negative. Other people are going to be negative. The people are going to display toxic behaviors. People are going to be, quote, toxic. It's okay. It's just love them for all of it. And that's a great thing to say. And of course, I'm a work in progress, just as we all are. But it was a useful reminder, that interaction, of just how important that principle is. There's nothing good, there's nothing bad, there's nothing to move away from, there's nothing to move away to. It's just be in the moment, be in the breath. And from there, we can create, we can generate. But first and foremost, we have to accept current reality exactly as it is and exactly as it isn't. Okay, I hope that's useful. Let me know what you think in the comments.